up, and welcome to the Beneath the Dirt podcast. I'm your host, Bone. Thank you for tuning in. Episode 201 in the motherfucking what's good, everybody? Thank you for tuning in, whether you're on YouTube or your favorite podcasting app. And what's really good? How y'all doing out there? Hope y'all staying safe. All that good shit. And yeah, we chilling over here, man. Last week was episode 200. We in the 200s now. God damn. Again, thank you to everybody for the support. Super appreciated. Much fucking love. I love you all. And we got a bunch of shit to talk about. But first, I said we were going to do more giveaways, and we're going to do more giveaways. So this time for the giveaway, again, all you got to do is leave a comment on the YouTube video of this podcast, and you're automatically entered. This one is available for everybody. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. This one is available for everyone. And what we're giving away, we're going to be giving away a brand new sealed copy of Twisted's Nickel Bag EP that was available at Astronomicon this year, featuring 2 brand new songs, 2 remixes. Only way to get it was at Astronomicon. So brand new sealed copy of that. A brand new sealed copy of Twisted's Songs to Smoke To. This is a compilation that came out a few years back. It's out of print now, so you can't get it. It's not available on the M&E store. It's got a bunch of motherfuckers on here. Young Wicked, Twisted, Ritz, King Gordy, ROC. Whole bunch of people. It's a dope compilation. So that's up for grabs as well. And then a sealed copy of the remastered House of Crazy's Head Trauma CD is also up for grabs. So yes, all you got to do is leave a comment and you automatically be entered. Winner will be announced on next Monday's podcast. And good luck to everybody that enters the contest. Super dope. Told y'all I wanted to do more giveaways, and we're fucking doing it. Yeah. Fresh. I'm pumped for it. And yeah, last time it was only, people in the States. But that's because we had like 8 prizes to give away. But this time it's only 1. So I don't mind paying the international shipping for just 1 package. So good luck to everybody. A couple of rare CDs here. And yeah, it was something I wanted to do on last week's show for the 200th episode, but forgot. I did announce the limited edition Insanity Bone Road design t-shirt. Thank you to the people who bought that design. It is no longer available, will never be available again. So thank you to the people that did buy that t-shirt as well. And let's get into the fucking news this week. One more piece of Beneath the Dirt news. If you didn't check it out, last week I was on the 5-piece show, the Goons Cloud Gallery, Joker's Gallery, Mike Sears, Luke the Goon. They go live every Thursday on the Fago Lovers channel. And, top 5 albums, top 5 songs. Last week was top 5 milenko songs celebrating the 25th anniversary of Great Milenko, which will be going down this month, actually. So, yeah, that is up on the Fago Lovers channel right now. Go peep that shit. Shout out to Joker's Gallery, Mike Sears, and Luke for having me on the show. It was mad fun. Everybody knows Great Milenko, my favorite album of all time. So it was fun counting down my top 5 songs from that album, breaking it down and all that good shit. It was a dope episode. Peep that shit. Let's get into some new music that dropped this past Friday. G-Mo Skee, Doomed to Repeat. He said he's going to drop a single every month this year. And so far, he's keeping to his word with that. Doomed to Repeat is available now. And like I said before, man, like I'm just fucking with G-Mo Skee more and more. Like the songs he's putting out, and it really all started with the Filth Element. That album was fucking fire. But all the singles that he's put out so far, super dope. Doomed to Repeat on here is fucking fire. He's got a line on here about Jada Pinkett, Kim K. It's fucking hilarious. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's funny as shit. And G-Mo, G-Mo is just punchlines for days. Like that dude just hitting you with punchline after punchline. Super fresh. Doomed to Repeat from G-Mo is out now, and he announced the next single that will be dropping this month, June 29th. Postcards from Hell, G-Mo Skee, dropping June 29th. The artwork is out as well. I'm looking forward to it, man. Anything G-Mo doing. Not that I never really didn't fuck with G-Mo. I just didn't get the full hype about G-Mo, and because I got the Spirit Bomb when that dropped, and I thought that was a good album, but it wasn't like mind-blowingly good. And I think like the Filth Element was like, all right, this dude really putting his songwriting skills together and all that shit, man, killing it. And he stays killing it. So props to G-Mo for doing his fucking thing. And then G-Mo made an appearance on this next album. Lance finally dropped his new album, The Undying Flame. It is out now, and this album is fire. Fire! Let me fucking tell you, man, this album just does not disappoint at all. Man, I've been looking forward to this one. He's dropped a shitload of singles for it in anticipation of the album, and it's out. Like I said, G-Mo Skee's on it. He's on a song with Jaron Benton called Lord of Illusions. That shit's fucking fire. But I gotta say, I gotta give props to Lance for putting together like just a well-rounded album. You got the hype shit, you got the mellow shit, you got the real life shit on here. It is, considering there's got to be at least 30 artists on this album. I didn't count, but there's got to be at least 30 artists on this album doing their thing. And it goes so well front to back from one song to the next. Like I said, the ups and downs as far as emotions go, absolutely kills it. A few standout tracks for me on this album would be Lord of Illusions with Jaron Benton and G-Mo. Lance got Jaron Benton back on that ignorant shit, just rapping that wild, crazy shit. Fire. I love that track. Another one of my standout tracks would be Tales from the Dark Side. Ill Bill, Snack the Ripper, and DJ D-Rec on there. That's fucking fire. Ill Bill, one of my favorites. Y'all already know that, though. And then Last Wishes with Terminology, Esoteric, and Slaine. It's just like a Beantown anthem. This shit is fire, man. It's Terminology, Esoteric, Slaine. They all absolutely fucking killing on here. I'm glad to see Slaine and Esoteric and Terminology on here, rocking on some Lance production. But like I said, every song on here, Keep Calm with Daniel Son, Charlie Fetta, and Jay Royale, fire. Trying to think of the other track that I really like on here. Oh, Leap of Faith with Evidence, Big Twins, and DJ Eclipse. DJ Eclipse is on a handful of songs on here doing the cuts. DJ Eclipse, legend in his own right, and he's just doing his thing on this album. But Leap of Faith with Evidence, Big Twins, fire. Again, props to Lance for just putting together. It can't be easy to put together like a cohesive project with this many artists. I don't think anybody has multiple features. Like everybody just got one feature on the album, except for DJ Eclipse and I think Justin Cohen. I think Justin Cohen might be the only artist on here that had more than one feature. But god damn, man. Fire album. The production, bang. Lance drums, then they're the types of shits that hit you in the fucking chest and you feel that shit. Peep this album. I've been hyping it, been talking about all the singles. Peep Lance, The Undying Flame. This shit is fire. Flame emojis all day. Props to Lance for absolutely killing it with that album. Very fucking dope. And then speaking of Slaine, this album came out a couple years ago, but we got the deluxe edition, if you will, or as Slaine is calling it, the director's cut of One Day. Slaine and the Archetype, completely produced by the Archetype. Out now, the deluxe edition featuring 5 brand new songs. This came out in 2019, so 3 years ago. And this album, when this album came out, it was almost instantly, this was my new favorite Slaine album. And I haven't listened to it in a while. Revisiting the album and then hearing the 5 new songs that come along with it, I gotta say, the original album, song 1 to song 12, Do What You Love. Damn near a perfect album, if not a perfect album. I love this album. It's still just so good 3 years later. Shout out to Slaine for just killing it with this album, so many years into his career. Still a banger, and I would still say it's my favorite Slaine album. And then the bonus tracks, To Whom It May Concern, One Day, Underdog Mentality, The Feeling I Get, this tradition, sorry. Man, all these songs could have made the original album. Like straight up, especially One Day, because the song's called One Day, and we have on the album, the original album, One More Day. I feel like he could have put One Day maybe earlier in the album and then had that One More Day towards the end of the album. But regardless, if you haven't heard it, it was in my top 20 albums of the year of 2019. So if you never peeped it on any of my previous recommendations, go out and peep the shit now. Slaine, One Day, produced completely by The Archetype, and the shit is fire. God damn, I love that album still. So go peep that shit. And the deluxe edition with the 5 new bonus tracks are fire. They don't sound like some leftover. When some people be doing deluxe editions and it's like, yeah, you just gave us a bunch of leftovers. Like, we know why these songs didn't make the album. But these songs definitely could have made the original album. So go peep the shit. Slaine, another one of my favorite hometown hero for me. An artist that I could be proud of coming out of Massachusetts, Boston, even though I'm not from Boston, but still. An artist I could be proud of coming out of my home state, Slaine. And then another new single that dropped this week, Blaze Ya Dare Homie, the King Klick. They are out on tour right now on the Underground Alliance tour. They dropped the Underground Alliance single. Kind of went under the radar at first. It just popped up. They started promoting it like the next day, the day after. And not a bad track. Not my favorite shit, but I do like the West Coast influence that is on this shit. Blaze and King Klick. It's dope hearing Blaze rock it with Johnny Richter, Chucky Chuck, and Obnoxious. This is some like summertime vibes. I gotta say that. It's not, I said it's not like my favorite shit, but it's a dope track. Go peep the shit if you haven't checked it out yet. I don't know who did the production. I haven't seen any production credits for it yet. I guess I could look it up real quick to see if I could get it. But it's looking like I'm seeing clips of the Underground Alliance tour from Blaze and the King Klick, and it's looking like the tour is fucking dope. It's looking like it's been a fucking dope tour, dope turnout for all the shows and all that shit. Let's see. Usually, Suburban Noise is usually pretty good about putting production credits on their songs. They didn't do it for this one, but regardless, go peep the shit. The shit is fire. And then keeping it Suburban Noise related, you're probably wondering, who are these guys that are the artwork for this week's episode? Well, that would be the Dropout Kings. Dropout Kings actually made headlines. Like, we're on TMZ and shit last week saying, fuck Lil Xan. Because fuck Lil Xan, right? Like, fuck Lil Xan straight the fuck up. They were supposed to hit the road with Lil Xan on a tour. Lil Xan, at the very last second, backed out of the tour. And Adam Ramey of Dropout Kings posted this to Instagram and Facebook. He wrote, due to Lil Xan dropping off the Born Dead tour, tonight's show in Tampa, Florida at Brass Mug is canceled. We're told tomorrow's show in Jacksonville is canceled as well. We're trying to save any show we can and perform for you all. Straight up, fuck Lil Xan, 100%. I don't even care. Dude Dude is a total piece of shit for doing this to all the artists and the staff involved in this. Decided to do this to everyone after everyone already left for the tour, then doesn't even show up to his set for So What Fest. We're still reaching out to every promoter on the remaining shows. Fuck it. We'll make it a headliner. The show must go on. Please bear with us during this. We'll make it worth it. So, Dropout Kings. Adam Ramey came out and said, fuck Lil Xan. He's a piece of shit for doing this to the artists. And straight up, that's the bullshit. Having no fucking communication, and you're the headliner, and you don't even show up for the shit, that's some bullshit. But like I said, even when the tour was announced, I'm like, why the fuck are Dropout Kings touring with Lil Xan? Lil Xan is one of the wackest fucking dudes out there, period. Like, dude is whack as fuck. Straight the fuck up. I get it. He has a fan base, so that's why they would want to do that shit. But it's two completely different styles of music. Like I said, to me, it didn't make no sense. So I'm going to hop on this fuck Lil Xan train, even though I was been on the fuck Lil Xan train, even though I don't really pay attention to him all that much. But the Dropout Kings did announce tour dates. They're still trying to put some more together. So the Born Dead Tour, Dropout Kings, Saving Vice, Jupiter's Tirade, and Rosh Dog. They're out right now. June 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. They're actually hitting Worcester on Wednesday this week, my hometown. And I believe they're playing the Palladium. That would make sense, right? And, Dropout Kings, if you're unfamiliar with Dropout Kings, I covered them on when they dropped their last single that they put out. What was it? Hey Ya, or something like that. And his shit was fire. Go peep the Glitchgang EP that they dropped on Suburban Noise last year. That shit is fire. If you like nu metal, I fucks with nu metal. And if you like nu metal, go peep out Dropout Kings. These dudes are the shit. The rapping is on point. The screaming is on point. The singing is on point. That Devil's Playground track is like one of my favorite songs of last year. Even though I didn't get hip to it until this year. I love that shit. And these dudes are the shit. Suburban Noise, SRH, that hardcore in your face shit, man. I fucks with it heavy. The Glitchgang EP, it's 7 tracks, 23 minutes. It's a short listen, but it's fucking fire, front to back. Not one skipper on there. They do have another album that they dropped in 2018 called Audio Dope. I haven't got a chance to listen to that yet. But based on everything I've heard since Glitchgang dropped, these dudes are fire. And yeah, the last single that they released on their own was Hey and it was super dope. Fucking fire. So go peep these guys. If you haven't yet, peep the music. They are on tour. They are hitting the East Coast. Finally, a little bit of East Coast love. Finally, shit. And fuck Lil Xan. Straight the fuck up. That shit is whack as hell for a headlining artist to just drop off like that. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dog? Like, seriously, what the fuck are you really doing? That's some whack shit, piece of shit. And to be honest, I'm glad to see them not touring with Lil Xan, even though, I mean, who knows if that dude could even draw a crowd? Like, is that dude even relevant anymore? Right? I mean, we're talking about him right now, but because it's fuck Lil Xan. And Dropout Kings released the remix, actually, this past Friday. Of Glitchgang, the remix of Glitchgang. Sorry, I had a brain fart there with Head PE, Crazy Town, and Twisted. Glitchgang really ain't on this track other than the hook. They just kind of replaced the verses with Jared from Head PE, Dude from Crazy Town, and Jamie Madrox from Twisted. It's only Madrox on here, no Monoxide. I like the original better, but for the remix, Jared killed the remix, had the standout verse on here for me. He absolutely killed that shit, and it's a banger of a track, the original. Peep it. It's on the glitchgang EP that I was just talking about. The shit is fire. These dudes are dope, and I'm looking forward to seeing what these dudes bring in the future, man. You know, talking about, what Suburban Noise got going on, and this group right here of the groups and artists that they announced. This is the one I'm most looking forward to right here. Dropout Kings, for without a doubt. Like this, I fuck with their vibe. I fuck with the sound of their music, and these dudes are dope. So peep that shit, man. And once again, fuck Lil Xan. Right? Right. All right. Let's talk about some upcoming music. June 10th, we're getting a new single from Ritz called Gladiator, featuring King ISO and Emilio Rojas, produced by none other than Lance. We've known for a while now that Ritz and Lance have been working on a project together, and this might be the first single for that project. I'm hyped to hear a Lance and Ritz project. Lance had a song on Ritz's last album that featured Vinny Paz. That was a boom bap banger. And that's the kind of shit I want to hear Ritz doing, because I fucked with that track. Even though what Ritz does in his own lane is fire. That double time, fast rapping shit. He's dope. He's one of the nicer dudes to do that style. But when he does slow it down, he's just as nice with it. So I'm curious to hear this, if it's going to be some double time fast shit. And Lance proved on his new album that he could do all these different styles. Like, it just doesn't have to be this hardcore boom bap in your face shit. So Gladiator, based on the song title, I got to assume there's going to be some in your face hype type shit, whether it's a boom bap track or a, double time fast raps, with King ISO, Ritz. I'm not super familiar with Emilio Rojas, but June 10th, this Friday, new Ritz single is dropping. Joey Cool announced his new album. The chairman of the board is dropping July 15th next month, available for pre-order now. This dude's been dropping single after single after single, and the album is dropping next month. I'm glad to see Strange Music stray away from releasing the EPs. Remember a couple years back, they would release like 3 EPs and you would get 75% of the album before it dropped. They were experimenting with some new shit, and maybe it didn't work out as well as they were hoping. So they're just going to go back to releasing a handful of singles and then drop the album. I like that better. Just in general, that way you don't hear almost the entire album before it's dropped. But Joey Cool, chairman of the board, July 15th, pre-orders available now. And then fucking Ouija Mac. This dude don't stop. The grind stays on. He announced he is going on tour with hexx and DJ Chunk for the Wicked Warlords tour, Psychopathic, Chapter 17. We Are All the Pages, starting July 12th, going through July 23rd. This is mainly a West Coast tour: Nevada, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, California. So yeah, Ouija Mac hitting the fucking road right before the gathering. Tickets are available for this show now. So if you're interested, go fucking peep that shit. And shout out to Ouija Mac and Chapter 17 for just killing shit. And again, I need that Devereaux and DJ Chunk project now. Need that shit ASAP, son. Need that shit. Shit'll be fucking fire when it drops. Now, this past weekend, Camp Xul 2 went down. Right now, I'm recording this episode Sunday afternoon. Day 3 is going on right now. So if any news dropped for Camp Xul Day 3, and I don't have it, we'll talk about it next week. But we did get a little bit of news from the alla Zulilu Q&A like seminar, whatever, that went down Saturday. I got this information from Robbie of Twisted History, but he has a new page at Do It For The Underground on Instagram and Twitter. Go give him a follow, and that page will follow. This is where I got the news from. Shout out to Robbie. He is at Church Xul, which is super fresh. So the Camp Xul 2 news that we got this year, we're getting a Long Live Evil collaboration album this year. Now, Long Live Evil, as of right now, is just alla Zulilu and Super Famous Fun Time Guys. So maybe they'll do different collaborations with, different members of both the groups. Maybe we're going to get another announcement of an artist signing to Long Live Evil, even though that wasn't announced. Or part of this news that Robbie dropped, the Mikey Clark album with alla Zulilu. This is probably the biggest news that dropped from the seminar, in my opinion anyway. Will be coming end of year. Mikey Clark and the alla Zulilu, still as of yet untitled album. I'm looking forward to that album more than anything else from alla Zulilu at this point. More than Venomous 5. From what Robbie posted, it didn't seem like there was no V5 news. Twisted was at Camp Xul. Twisted did perform at Camp Xul. But no news on V5 from what I know. But the Mikey Clark album is coming end of year. So this year, hopefully, fingers crossed, as long as this information is true that Xul provided, we will be getting that album this year. And I'm hyped for it. I was bumping Almighty, Psycho, The Church of Xul last week. And I'm hyped for new Xul, man. I really am. Hyped for new Xul. And hyped for it to be produced by Mikey Clark. This is the first time we're hearing Mikey Clark in a decade. Like full album wise anyway. The last time we've heard Mikey Clark produce a full album, was the Almighty Death Pop from ICP, and that was 2012, if I remember correctly. So it's been a fucking decade since we've had any project from anybody produced by Mikey Clark. Curious to hear what he's got going now, 10 years later since Death Pop, but I'm hyped for it. New Super Famous Fun Time Guys next year. I'll tell you when I feel like laughing by laughing. I don't know what the fuck that means, but new Super Famous Fun Time Guys next year. First annual Night of the Zuligans, October 1st. Thompson House, Newport, Kentucky. So it looks like we're getting a Halloween show, the first annual Night of the Zuligans, going down in Newport, Kentucky this year. So we got Camp Xul from them. We're getting this new Night of the Zuligans. Xul, staying busy. Long Live Evil, staying busy. I fucks with it. Super dope to see. The turnout for Camp Xul looked pretty good. It looked like more people turned out this year than they did last year. Last year it was cold as fuck. The shit was in November. But the turnout looked dope this year. The performances looked fire. Yeah, Twisted there. I know Blaze is performing tonight with Chucky Chuck. Johnny Richter's performing tonight. Who else performed? Of course, Xul. Super Famous Fun Time Guys. Donnie Menace was there. Bukshot was there. Also, if you were there, you were able to get this CD that we were talking about last week from Bukshot. The Countdown to Chaos. Limited edition. You can either get it through Mobstyle Music, or you would be able to buy it at Camp Xul 2 this year. So it's limited to 100 copies. The CD includes new songs from Mr. Gray's upcoming album Operation Delirium, as well as the mysterious Berzerkers project. Now, I haven't seen any news or any uploads for this CD to YouTube yet, so I don't know who the Berzerkers are as of yet. But we will find out soon enough. That shit will be uploaded to YouTube. Probably find out by next week's show. Any orders over what $50 through the mobstyle web store comes free with the Countdown to Chaos CD, and it's got new songs from Mr. Gray's album Operation Delirium. I'm hyped to hear that shit. It's gonna be dope. And shout out to Bukshot. I saw him at Camp Xul with this fucking like, I want to say it's like a camper, but it was almost like ice cream truck style with the mob style music, merch. The shit looks super fresh. It was all wrapped up, extra fresh, selling the merch there. Very dope, very unique. Ain't nobody else doing that shit at Camp Xul. So I'm hyped to hear these new Mr. Gray songs and this Berserker project finally. Even though it was only announced like a month ago. But, I mean, there's got to be fucking hype for it, man. I wonder who's in the fucking group. Who is in the Berzerkers, man? We'll find out soon enough. Now, get into this next one. Crossworm. Y'all have heard me talk about Crossworm in the past. He had his side project, Animal. Dropped a couple projects last year that were phenomenal. But Crossworm's been putting it down in the Wicked Underground for 2 decades at this point. And he's finally starting a label and, not starting a label, but signing artists to the label. He was always a stickler for wanting to entirely produce artists that were on the label, but he's finally said, fuck it. As long as you just let me mix and master your shit, you're on the fucking label, use outside production. And he started announcing new artists. Now, y'all know, if you've been a long time listener, Crossworm, one of my favorite producers, one of my favorite artists. He has a very unique style and sound. Think industrial mixed with hip hop, and he absolutely kills it. But we've got 3 of the 4 artists that he's teased for signing now so far. We'll talk about the 4th one next week when it is officially announced. First artist that he announced signing to the label is Samson. Now, I'm not super familiar with Samson outside of his collaborations with Low Key on the Let's Get Violent EP, I believe it was. And I think he was on 1 or 2 songs on there, but regardless, his features on there were fucking dope. And it's already been announced. The first single from Samson is coming out soon, featuring Crossworm, called Open Your Mind Up. Now, from what I understand, Samson has been on somewhat of a hiatus, and he's finally back. I see a lot of people are hyped for Samson to be signed to the Dirtcore label, and for him to be back making music. And then the second artist that was signed was mumm. I'm most familiar with his work with, again, Low Key and Mission Infect. He is a part of Mission Infect, and mumm is dope. This is a very dope signing on Crossworm's part of getting mumm signed to his shit. I believe we talked about him in the past before, but he's officially signed to Dirtcore Music, and that is dope to see. And then the third artist that we've got announced is the hexx project. hexx, I'm pretty sure I was talking about hexx with Darby O'Trill and Devereaux. I don't remember if it was actually part of the show or some backstage shit, but I know I was talking about hexx with them. And this dude's been putting it down for a long ass time. This dude is like, he sticks to horrorcore, like, specifically. He does not stray from the horrorcore genre at all. He produces a lot of his own shit, mixes, masters a lot of his own shit. And hexx been dope, man. I've been fucking with hexx since The Mountain of the Cannibal God. That was the first project that I got on with hexx when that shit dropped. I still got like that pre-order package that he had, like all types of crazy shit that he had with that poster, some other shit. I forget what it was. But I got the CD for it. He's heavily influenced by all this crazy, crazy horror movies that I've never seen, never heard of, underground shit. But man, Crossworm killing it with the signings for Dirtcore Music, man. Samson, mumm, and the hexx project. I don't know who the fourth artist is yet. It will be announced sometime soon when the contract is done. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I fucks with Crossworm super heavy. Very influential on me and the Beneath the Dirt podcast. And I'm hyped for it. Like, it's dope to see him finally just saying, fuck it. I don't have to produce everything, but we're going to work together. You know, this dude does dope graphics. His mixing and mastering is like top notch. If I was an artist, he'd be the guy I would go to personally. Even though there are other talented people that do the mixes and masterers, I would I would go to Crossworm personally because he just gets super clean sound. That shit hits hard, very dope. And you know, I want to wish him luck on his Dirtcore music adventure. Finally getting that shit going after all these years, and it's dope to see, man. He has had artists in the past. You know, some didn't work out. One dude did drop a project. I can't remember his name, but the EP was dope. Like it was produced by Crossworm, and the dude was fucking doing his thing over it. So I'm hyped for that shit. Be on the lookout for that. And then some more new music to be looking forward to in the future. Kung Fu Vampire dropping his new single and video today, June 6th. Smoke Me. It's called Smoke Me. Maybe this is the first single off Black Heart Machine. If I'm remembering that correctly, I hope I'm correct on that. His newest album, I'm hyped for it. His last album, Come Dawn, was fucking fire. One of my favorite albums, I believe, of 2019 that dropped. So it's been a few years since we got new Kung Fu Vampire. Even though he did drop the Double Dragon project with Bukshot, that was phenomenal. So new Kung Fu Vampire drops today. I'll be talking about it next week, how it sounds and all that good shit. But I'm hyped for new Kung Fu Vampire. And then Suicide Boys dropped news on their newest album that's dropping July 29th. The name of the album is Sing Me a Lullaby, My Sweet Temptation. July 29th, new Suicide Boys. I'm hyped for it. I believe it's 13 tracks. And I've been fucking with Suicide Boys for a while now. Y'all know that. I know a lot of people that listen to the podcast fuck with Suicide Boys. So I'm hyped for it. Their last album, it's been about a year, right? Since their last album. So these dudes stay busy. Like at this point, they just stay in album mode. No more dropping crazy EPs. Drop a couple singles, put out an album. Drop a few singles, put out an album. Whereas 2015, 2016, these motherfuckers were dropping an EP damn near every month. But regardless, they still stay consistent, dropping full projects every year. I'm hyped for it. Ruby the Cherry, Scrim, new Suicide Boys, July 29th, man. Fucking hyped for it. Hyped for it. One of my new favorite segments of the show. I don't know how y'all feel about this segment, but this is the segment where we talk about significant albums with, I guess, significant birthdays. And this week, we had Esham's Bruce Wayne, Gotham City, 1987, celebrate its 25th anniversary. Dropped in 1997. Esham, the godfather of the wicked shit. I don't even have to explain it because I've done it so many fucking times. But if it wasn't for the Esham, we might not be here talking about all this music that we're talking about now. But god damn. Bruce Wayne, Gotham City, 1987. Although not wicked shit, this is really Esham and his kind of gangsta shit, get money shit, hustling type shit. Is even a couple R&B tracks on here are, but this album is fucking fire, man. Songs like Comerica, just a banger to start out the album. You Still Ain't Shit to Me, 7 Mile Road, Who is Bruce Wayne, Fuck the Fame, Detective, Nervous, a couple of these question mark tracks, these untitled songs with Mastermind, fucking fire. Esham's Bruce Wayne album is super dope. If you never checked it out because it ain't the wicked shit, maybe it's time for a revisit because that album is fucking fire. And it's been 25 years since that album came out. Now, I wasn't down with Esham in 97, probably like 98, maybe early 99 at the latest. So, but it's been a while since I've been down with Esham. Definitely a fucking fire album, and I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't already. So happy birthday to Esham's Gotham City, or Bruce Wayne's Gotham City 1987, excuse me. Then this album right here, I think it's been officially 10 years since this album dropped, and I think officially we can say without any fucking doubt that this album is a classic, and I'm talking about none other than Graveyard Blues from Dark Half. Man, I remember me and Devereaux were talking about this when I interviewed him the first time. This album right here, I remember being on the horrorcore.com message board back in the day and hearing Dark Half like when Chapters was out and being like, okay, I hear the potential in these guys. I fucking hear the potential in these guys. It's still a little, it's a little rough, still dope, but rough. And the potential is there. And then when Graveyard Blues dropped, it was like, God damn, these dudes really put it together and put out a banger of an album. You could play this shit from the intro all the way to Walk Into My Grave Again. Not one song can be skipped. 18 tracks. Very, very dope album from Dark Half. Rest in peace, Geno Cult shit. Shout out to Damian Quinn. He's still holding it down in the Wicked Underground. A few of my favorite tracks on this album would be Desolate, the opening song for the album. Fucking fire. Geno's hook, when that shit kicks in, God fucking damn, man. I love that shit. Toxidermy with the ROC and Mastermind. That's probably my favorite Dark Half song ever. I love that shit. That shit is fucking fire. And then Forgive Me. That might be like my number 2 Dark Half song. Even though it's a Geno Cult shit solo track, I love that shit, man. It is fucking fire. Speaking in Tongues with Scum and Dope Fiend. That's a fire fucking song too. Every single song on this album, though, is fire. If you don't fucking know, get hip to Dark Half's Graveyard Blues. It's a horrorcore classic at this point. It's been 10 fucking years. It's safe to say that Graveyard Blues is a classic. I know a couple weeks ago we were saying it's safe to say Tales from the Sick from Prozac is a classic. Well, guess what? Dark Half's Graveyard Blues is a classic as well. Peep that shit. And another album that celebrated 10 years of being released is Scum, the Gorefather, released the same day as Graveyard Blues. And I'm not the biggest Scum fan. Said it before. Respect Scum. Seems like a fucking cool ass dude. I'm just not super into his music, but I know people fuck with him heavy. And yeah, so happy birthday to the Gorefather from Scum. Much respect. Like, this dude's hustle is next to none. And he has dope features on the album too. Looking at it right now, Mastermind, Insane Poetry, of course, Liquid Assassin, Potluck, And of course, Dark Half on the song Off the Hinges, which was actually a dope track. I believe they did a video for that shit back in the day too. And that was before like everybody was doing videos like they are now. Scum been holding it down for the Wicked Underground, Wicked shit scene for a minute now. So happy birthday to the Gorefather. Graveyard Blues and Bruce Wayne's Gotham City 1989, man. Fucking dope. And makes me feel old. Every time I do it. Makes me feel old, man. Just is what the fuck it is. And let's get into some more new music that dropped this week. Them Chains, Clockworc, formerly of Gorilla Voltage, his new group, Them Chains, they dropped their brand new single this past Friday called Bad Seed. They dropped the video with it as well. Peep that shit. That shit is out there. Again, more of a mainstream type sound, but dope. I love it. I love the styles that Clockworc be flipping with Them Chains versus when he's doing the solo shit and what he did with Gorilla Voltage. Liquid Assassin. We were just talking about Liquid Assassin being on Scum's The Gorefather. He dropped a brand new track called Old Head last week. From what I saw, I'm going to double check right now. But it was only available on Apple Music, not Apple Music, fucking A, man. YouTube. It was only available on YouTube as of last week. Still is. At least it's not available on Apple Music. I don't know if it's available on Spotify. But Liquid Assassin Old Head is up on YouTube right now. Go peep that shit. And then Bizarre of D12. He dropped a new album and produced entirely by Foulmouth. It's called He Got a Gun. I put a song called Dillinger up on the Weekly Bumps playlist, and it's a fire fucking track, man. I'm not the biggest Bizarre fan, even though he was funny as fuck on those D12 albums, and he does say some funny shit. I gotta give him props, at least on that song Dillinger, and I might have to check out the album. So Bizarre. He Got a Gun, produced by Foulmouth. Again, the Weekly Bumps playlist from Beneath the Dirt on Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube. Search it, look for it, follow it. I update it every Friday. Everything that I talked about every week that's new music-wise is up on that playlist. So go follow that shit. And much love to everybody that's following it. Again, we are super close to getting to 100 followers on the Weekly Bumps playlist on Spotify. So hopefully we can get that shit soon. And don't forget the contest. We are giving away 3 CDs available to everybody and anybody in the world. The Twisted Nickel Bag EP, the Twisted Songs to Smoke To album, and the HOK Head Trauma remastered CD. All you got to do is leave a comment on YouTube of this podcast to be entered. Much fucking love. I super appreciate it, man. Again, I love y'all. I appreciate all the support. It'll never go unnoticed or unappreciated. Thank you very much. I'm Roland Bone of the Beneath the Dirt podcast, and until next time, I'm out. Peace.